Okay, we'll ask those who are still up to take their seats. Okay, we'll get started. You ready? Be just a sec. Just let me know when we're ready.
Amy, can you come over here for a moment?
La 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 la. Da, 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 da. We can just go, one moment. One moment. It's amazing what more advanced intelligence does, isn't it? Are you having fun with your technology? Okay, well,
We can do the intro after. Does that work?
I think
We're going to need a minute because this thing is... Oh, no, it's back. You fixed it. Okay.
just a little energetic attention. Are you having fun with your technology?
Okay, we're good.
Okay. All right, well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to this exciting day with Bashar, where he will be speaking to us about the State of the Union. And since everyone has garnered lots of anxiety about what's coming up, it will be very interesting to hear from him about where we are in this process that has to do with things that will start changing in 2016. And it will be interesting to see if our energy through this awareness has made any difference in terms of what is manifesting. So this should be a very interesting day with Bashar. Just a little bit about the protocols and everything for this morning. We'll have a Q&A session after the monologue. So Darryl will be up here and we'll pick names. And if your name is called, please raise your hand and then we will bring you a ticket. And when it's your turn, please come up to the microphone and let Karma adjust it. And then we will go ahead and you can start talking with Bashar. Let's see. Oh, yeah, please turn off your cell phones. And remember that there is no recording of the session. We really appreciate your support. It allows us to bring you more Bashar. And I know that is really the most important thing to most people, is more information from him and greater clarity for all of us through this experience. Okay. As far as parking is concerned, there's a validation machine out there. And if you validate your ticket 15 minutes before you leave, then they reduce the parking cost by half. It goes from $22 down to $12. So you want to take advantage of that if you've parked in the parking lot. And just to let you know about upcoming events, our next Bashar event will be in September in Sedona on September 10th. And then we will be back here in LA for 3 days at the end of September. And then in Las Vegas and Oakland, California, near San Francisco, in November. And then we'll finish up with a holiday celebration Bashar event in December here in Los Angeles. Actually, we'll be in Woodland Hills for the next 2 events, and so we hope many of you can come and join us for that experience too. We're going to show you a few brief videos. The first one has to do with the contact crystal, which is something that Bashar introduced back around 2010. And if you look at this design, this is a representation of that crystal. And the central crystal is something Bashar will tell you about in the video that explains a little bit about how you can use this crystal as a tool or a permission slip for things that are important for you. So if you guys want to bring the screen over, we'll take a shot at that.
The charged crystals that represent the idea of contact. These being the permission slip that have been entitled Ethithani contact crystals or seeds of contact. The idea being that on my world, this crystal represents the center point of a larger crystal array that is created to represent all of the consciousnesses and all of the worlds in the interstellar alliance of which we are a part and of which you are becoming a part.
Bashar has been in some sessions explaining more about his own life, his own experiences on his planet. When he was very young, he was shown a large piece of artwork that contains many different kinds of crystals, and each crystal represents one of the civilizations that's part of their association of worlds. Now, the central crystal he described is a hexagon that is dark green in color. It's larger than this, but this is basically a replica of that crystal as he described it to us. There is a symbol inscribed on the crystal, which is a triangular symbol that has a spiral in the middle of it. This symbol, Bashar described, is actually his family crest. It represents his family's lineage as contact specialists. So Bashar suggested that if we made replicas, even if they're smaller, of this central crystal, what he did then is he did a special meditation that actually comes with every crystal on a DVD that's for the purpose of charging the crystal with the specific frequency of contact. So when you have one of these and you use the meditation, it is actually charged with the particular frequency that represents his civilization and the particular frequency that represents their initial contact with us. Bashar has basically said that, charging one of these with your own energy and the energy that's in the meditation that he gave is kind of like casting your vote specifically for contact. So if you're interested in acquiring one of these, by all means, please ask the people at the back table to give you the information. It comes in this lovely box along, like I said, with the DVD. And so please check out the information at the back table.
Okay, and why is the contact crystal a hexagon?
It supports the idea very specifically that what is attached to it, around it, as the central hexagonal crystal, are 6 others, which represent the 6 hybrid races, and altogether the 7th. Earth being the 6th hybrid race. We are the 3rd. But altogether, the 6 and the 1 in the center will be representative of the 7th hybrid race, when all 6 hybrid races exist and blend together into the 7th. That's the core of our common evolution and what we share as family and where we're going into what you call the future. together.
Okay, and the next short that we're going to show you has to do with the dolphin workshop that we have every year in February. And so the next one will be February 2017. And this is a little bit about what it's like to go to a dolphin workshop.
You dive into the unknown, the greater the gifts will be, the more expansive the gifts will be, the more exciting the gifts will be. You will discover the buried treasure that lies deep within.
Blend and sink and melt
within the sea of space and time and timelessness.
into the ocean,
In the infinite depths.
into a realm unto its own. Diving deeply once again. Buried deep within the seas, in an everlasting dream of joy, an everlasting dream of exploration, an everlasting dream of ecstasy.
So the Dolphin Workshop is a series of guided meditations that Bashar created specifically for swimming with the dolphins. And what happens over the week period that we do this is we'll be doing Bashar meditations twice a day and be with the dolphins at least for 4 hours every day. And you will transform into something different than what you are now. When you spend that much time with them. And we spend time learning how to communicate with them and understanding what kind of signals they're giving us. And we also have unusual encounters with other kinds of cetaceans like pilot whales and humpback whales in the spring. And in fact, one of the dolphins on here was a rough-toothed dolphin that came to see us. And we've had false killer whales and amazing things. So it's a cetacean party, and if one of the things on your bucket list is to swim with the dolphins and transform into a new being, this is an opportunity to do that. So we hope you'll join us. And lastly, our little surprise is that we'd like to show you the trailer for our First Contact documentary, which has been completed and will be available to be seen starting in September. So take a look.
The concept of alien contact is no longer foreign to our society. The question isn't if it will happen, but when.
Yeah, great. So we hope you all will have a chance to see that. So let's go ahead and move the screen and then we'll get started. I was going to check with you all. How many people here are experiencing Bashar for the first time this way? So have most of you been here the whole weekend? How many people have been here this weekend? Okay. And one last question. How many people came from like out of town? Well, I think it's well worth it, but yes, that's right. You came from out of town. Okay, we won't. What? Oh, I need to get out of the way. Okay. So is Karma here? Ah, the basket. Okay, So now, without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you the amazing channel for Bashar, Darryl Anka.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So Gary's going to wire him so he can receive the telepathic connection.
Is that how that works?
Little did you know, right? That
Always wondered.
you-
No Hawaiian shirt today? No Hawaiian shirts.
Thank you. Bashar said things are changing.
It used to be unknown.
Okay, so we got our basket. Thank you. Okay, I'll that later. That one's later. Okay. He's wearing black because it's a solemn occasion.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh, and there's that, isn't there? Yes. In fact, Bashar said that something very interesting will happen in this channeling for Father's Day, in case you didn't hear him yesterday. Yeah. So we will see.
Ready?
I'm ready. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. I guess we're both ready. Oh, Heejin. Oh. Eula Furakova. Bob Lifson.
Everybody bought their fan club
I like
today.
that when it happens like in one row. That's always cool. It's just power of synchronicity. Henri Corcoyan. Same general area. You guys are on a roll over here.
I may need to shake this up somewhere.
That's right. Dimitri.
Closer. Slightly.
Paul Carroll. It's making its way across the room.
It's migrating.
Dina. Is you finding this amusing, Darryl? You are easy to please,
I am.
aren't you? Shakta.
There we go.
Anastasia.
Now I'm back on this side again. How many we got?
And Diana Mellick. I don't know
You
how it
guys'
works.
synchronicity sucks. What's going on this side? Come on. She's like holding down the fort for you guys.
Well, oh, here, let me give that back to
No,
you.
just they know that they're going to ask all the questions they would have asked anyway. So they're having them do it for them.
I get it. That's very clever. It's a very clever and creative interpretation of reality.
Thank you.
Anyway, we would very much like to thank you on this Father's Day for bringing through more than one father tonight or today. So thank you so much.
Welcome.
And we look forward to the interesting information that will be shared.
Have fun. Thank you all for being here today. Really appreciate it. And for the whole weekend, for those that were here. And I will see you later. So have fun.
But it'll say good day to you this day of your time. How are you all? All right. Thank you. Thank you. Once again, we thank all of you collectively and each of you individually for the gift you are giving us of interacting with you and seeing through all of you how many more ways creation has of expressing itself within all that is. So we thank you for that gift. Today being your Father's Day in your area, on your planet, in your culture, and being the title of the State of the Union, and in honoring both of these concepts, the transmission for the first part, as we have already said, will be delivered by my father. One moment. I have been a first contact specialist for 1,000 of your years. I have interacted with over 300 civilizations in that time. 157 of those civilizations have gone on to have first contact with us. 48 of those have become part of what we term our interstellar alliance. As you can tell from what we have just said, not all civilizations with whom we make first contact will necessarily continue to have relations with us by their choices. By their collective consciousness, they choose other paths from time to time. But we will always accept the invitation of those, such as yourselves, who send out the vibrational energy that invites us to make contact with you in this way. And we will, through many different methodologies, deliver the information to you in such a manner as to give you the opportunity to decide what is true for you and whether you wish to continue to interact with us or others like us. At this timing, we will explain to you some of the methodologies that are utilized in our assessment of our first contact protocols. Because this day, at this timing, you have arrived as a civilization at a point that is common for many civilizations who have begun the process of contact with us. We refer to this particular moment in a way that would translate into your language as the 88-22-10 scenario. The 88-22-10 scenario is described as follows. There will be certain collections of probabilities that will build up to a certain point. Beyond that, at this point, the information is relatively extraneous. And so an 88% probability is the maximum that we can read at this time, for many things are still in flux. The 22% probability represents the opposite of what we may tell you about the 88% probabilities. You will notice that this adds up to more than 100%. But this is not the way that we calculate these things. The 88% is from 0 up. The 22% is from 100% backwards, thus leaving what you would call a 10% overlap, in which many unexpected things can occur and change the course radically of events as we read them now. Remember that what we are about to tell you is energy as it exists at this moment, now that you have reached this point in your civilization, which is common to many civilizations, once they have received a certain amount of information from us or others like us. Thus, you have an opportunity to recognize that what we are about to say are not what you call classically predictions in your understanding of this, but again, a reading of the energy as it exists at this moment, maxing out, as you say, at 88 percentile, with a 22% probability of going in exactly the opposite direction and a 10% overlap of something completely unexpected happening, taking you in a completely different course. Therefore, read clearly, understand clearly what we are about to say. As we read your energy at this time, politically, you have in your culture an 88% probability of having what you would term a female presidency. You have then, therefore, a 22% probability of the opposite happening and a 10% probability of something completely unexpected taking place. Politically, you have an 88% probability within your next 4 years of a major terrorist action taking place on your globe. This will occur in probability at this point, regardless of the previous 88% probability of your political election. One moment. Economically, you have an 88% probability over the course of the next 2 years of having what you have termed a major financial and economic adjustment in your system. In terms of first contact, over the next 4 years of your time, you have an 88% probability of proving to yourselves in one way, shape, or form that life exists beyond your world, thus increasing the probabilities of the window for contact beyond that year. Ecologically, over the course of the next 5 of your years to 10 of your years, you have an 88% probability still of a particular oceanic ecosystem experiencing total collapse. Again, you have at this point a 22% probability of the opposite happening, and a 10% probability of something completely unexpected occurring and taking you in a completely different direction. Technologically, between your time that you consider to be your present and your year of 2025, you have an 88% probability of discovering a new technology that will allow you at a more accelerated rate to shift over to the utilization of non-damaging technologies for the generation of power. One moment. Politically, there is an 88% probability that if the first 88% probability is fulfilled, that you will experience a radical shift in what you would call your two-party system of politics. As you have begun to see, it may begin to shift more earnestly into a three-party system. One moment. Again, understand the concept of these probabilities, both the 88% and the 22% and the 10. This is a different formulation than you have utilized before with your understanding of such things. And therefore, there is an 88% probability that 88% of you will misinterpret what we have said. Therefore, allow yourselves to go with your flows, to be yourselves as fully as you can. There will be more of this information delivered within the next year or two of your time as you begin to enter the 88-22-10 phase of this process of contact, and allow yourselves more opportunity to see more clearly the paths you have laid out for yourselves, both individually and collectively. In having mentioned to you that not all civilizations contacted continue on to the idea of open contact or the joining of our alliance, we thus encourage each and every one of you to take stock in your own minds, your own hearts, your own spirits, to decide what is true for you, and to begin to put forth into your society in a more active way the ideas, the realities, the concepts that you prefer, which will then radiate outward from your world in a manner that we will perceive as your decision and your choice with respect to your relations to us. And also, as of this moment, in my being, what you would recognize, though not exactly in the way you understand these things, as my self being in our family lineage, the head of the Council of First Contact Specialists. That, as of this moment, will now shift to my son. I will go on to many things in terms of the coordination and organization of such contact should it occur. But in this moment of 88, 22, and 10, being this place that you have arrived, this energy, this frequency you have now arrived at, this shift is necessary for the entity that you have termed Bashar, that which is one of my sons, being then the main being from our family lineage of contact specialists that will guide you the rest of the way. We have and will continue to be involved in a variety of ways. But this shift is now timely for a variety of reasons we will go into at another time. We extend to each and every one of you our deepest appreciation and gratitude for your willingness to open your hearts and minds to us and to extend the invitation which we have answered and will continue to answer for as long as you choose. But it is in your hands and no one else's at this point in your evolution toward becoming the sixth hybrid race. We thank you for your strength. We thank you for your power. We thank you for your boldness and your creativity. Do not lose sight of those qualities within yourselves, for they will guide you as a beacon the rest of the way. And you, by continuing on that path, will awaken and you will eventually come home. And so happy Father's Day. At this timing then, according to what has just been given to you, we will continue in our sharing, in our relation at this moment of the 88-22-10 crossing threshold that will lead you into and through the fall of 2016 and beyond, knowing that remaining in the vibrational state of being that you prefer will allow you to ride smoothly on those currents which will carry you all the way through and into more and more and more of the true essence of your being. In return, thus now, for the gift you are giving to all of us, how may we be of service to you with your questions and your dialogues? Please proceed however you so desire at this time.
Do you want to come over here? Congratulations, Tadeo.
Oh, all right, thank you.
I'm sure everybody else would like to join me in congratulating you on taking that new step.
To put it in your language, the promotion comes with many perks.
What a wonderful gift from your father. Beautiful.
Yes. And the biggest gift of all is continuing to interact with all of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, yes, I know, I'm such a softie. Please proceed.
All righty.
Thank you. Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
Thank you, sir. Again, congratulations on your promo.
All right, thank you.
Very cool.
Speak up, speak up.
Do you get a new ship?
The one I have is just fine.
All right.
And of course, every moment it is always a new ship.
There you go. I have a series of questions that lead up to my main question.
Oh, I see. How sneaky of you.
Thank you. If appropriate, if you can answer this, in Earth years,
Yes.
how long is there an average lifespan in your society, if there is a passing or not?
Average lifespan would be, as you understand it, about 300 of your years.
Okay. And how long has your civilization been in existence?
In your terms of understanding, about 10,000 of our years.
Okay. That's, I kind of think, oh, wow.
But understand that in our dimension, our parallel reality, our vibrational rate is 10 times faster than yours. Therefore, in your understanding, 1,000 years. But to us, we've experienced 10,000. Does that make sense to you, temporally?
No.
Our reality...
No, I mean, I understand, but...
Oh, all right.
The 10,000 years
Yes.
doesn't... I thought you all would have been in existence much longer.
We are an
Earth
artificial race. Remember, we were created, in that sense, between what you call the Greys and many humans from different parallel realities, and were placed on a planet that was prepared for us. So you would say we were kind of jump-started.
Okay.
Therefore, we didn't evolve in that sense in a similar fashion to what you think of as evolution.
Okay. So my understanding on Earth with humans, how we have evolved, if you want to call it that,
Yes.
is we have kind of, especially during Atlantean times, have
Yes.
destroyed ourselves more than once.
Oh, yes. And of course, also attracted many of what you would call natural disasters, such as asteroidal impacts and earthquakes and volcanoes and so forth.
Did we attract those, or Mother Earth attract those?
Well, depends on what history you're creating for yourself at this particular moment. Since you used the word Atlantis, we will assume you're still creating a similar scenario in your history at this moment. Because that is what destroyed it ultimately, was a cometary asteroidal impact into the Atlantic Ocean that caused what you would call a tsunami.
Okay. So, which leads to my big question.
Oh, all right, the big question.
How did you all get to the state where you didn't destroy yourselves? And how can we learn from that?
Practice, practice, practice.
Well, we're
the
practicing destroying ourselves very well.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
But the idea, of course, is that the formulas we are giving you is what we have learned. To be true to yourself by acting on your highest passion, because that vibration is the vibrational resonance of your true core frequency. And by aligning with it and acting from that state of being, then you accelerate and evolve very rapidly. So in that we have learned to do this, we are passing along this information to you as a kit that you can apply in your reality to get a similar effect.
So there are many of us that are doing what you're recommending.
Yes.
But it's such a small minority.
Doesn't matter.
And you're familiar, of course, with the 100th monkey or...
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
And of course the idea is that because the concepts we are sharing are oriented in a positive way and thus establishing an integrative, an expansion, and a connection, then it is not necessary to have as many people oriented positively to outweigh all of the negatives because they are disconnective and segregational.
Okay.
And thus then they cannot outweigh a smaller number of those that are oriented and connected in a positive way.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. Cool.
Nevertheless, remember that you never change the world you're on anyway. You only shift to another version of Earth that is already more reflective of the changes you have made within yourself.
I understand the words. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, but in time.
Yes.
May I ask another question, please?
That was a question.
I know. I'm sorry.
Just ask.
Yep. Okay. My wife and I are studying advanced animal communication.
Oh, all right.
Are there animals, pets on where you come from?
There are animals. We don't keep pets, but we do associate with many different kinds of animals. And so we have relations with them. It's not exactly in the way that you do when you call them a pet. They come and go as they please, and we have relations synchronistically with those that are relevant for us to have a relationship or a dialogue with.
Okay.
Yes, so we have many different kinds of animals on our planet.
So you have
You will
animals
see a couple of them in what you are calling the upcoming documentary. Some of them have been represented for you so that you have a better notion of what our planet is like and what our civilization is like. So you will see a few examples of these animals on our planet.
Will we as humans ever get the opportunity to come visit your planet?
Eventually,
Okay.
if you decide to have open contact with us.
Where do we sign up?
Right here, right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You sign up by living your life to the fullest.
Hello, Bashar.
All it takes, and good day to you.
Thank you for this transmission.
Absolutely. Thank you for the co-creation.
So, where do I start? Well,
At the beginning.
Bashar, would this be considered a voluntary colonization?
A voluntary colonization.
In other words, when you lay first contact,
Yes.
then I don't know how to word this really, but
May I ask you a question?
Of course.
If you decide to move from the city you live in to another city, is that a voluntary colonization?
I guess so. Yes.
All right. Then it's a voluntary colonization.
Thank you. My next question is about some of the events. Do you foresee air travel from the United States to Europe, for example, being hindered in the next few months because of some cataclysmic event that could occur?
This may occur on minor levels for a variety of reasons, but in terms of the level that you're talking about, there is a probability of something like that happening over the course of the next 5 of your years. But we can't pin it down more than that because it is in flux.
Right. All right. And then could you please tell me a little about the lineages that I have to...
You're talking genetic lineage,
Yes.
or you're talking extraterrestrial
Extraterrestrial.
connections?
Yeah.
You have some strong Orion connections. You have a smattering of Arcturian, some Lyran, some Sirius. You have a few connections to the Greys and the hybrids, and a few other things we are not supposed to talk about yet.
So I'm a mutt.
You're all mutts.
Fair enough.
Does this help you?
It does. Well,
Anything else?
That's it for now.
Oh, all right, thank you. The universe is full of mutts.
Hi, Bashar.
And are you a good day?
Hello.
Could you shed some light on, I have been getting some body marks last couple years on my palms of my hands. What are they? What is the nature of them?
How do the marks appear?
I just noticed them one moment, like driving a car.
I mean, what do they look like?
Red, green dots, perfect patterns.
Yes. All right, so you are being identified. You are being identified by the encounters that you have so that you can be recognized.
The star family?
In a sense. Again, part of the hybridization agenda that you volunteered for. And thus they are indicative of some energetic adjustments in your genetic structure to make you more receptive to energies, to information, and allow you eventually to become more consciously aware of the encounters that you're having so you can participate more fully, more consciously. Does this make some sense to you?
Is it like an upload?
Yes, it can be an upload, a download, whichever direction you wish to load it in. You are uploading to them, they are downloading to you.
Am I a part of human hybridization program?
That's what I just said.
Got it. Do I have an implant?
The idea of implants isn't done anymore in the way that you think. It has changed the idea of a subtle alteration in your genetic structure that serves the same function. Therefore, it is quite invisible to your technology.
I see. One more question. I have been noticing like cuts on my hands, and I not aware that I cut my hand, my palms again.
Yes.
What is the significance of that?
Sometimes it is an indication that you are still fighting back.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
That's what I was getting myself.
Don't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of. Relax into it. Bring love with you. Radiate that love, and you will become more aware and more conscious of what's going on, and you won't have to be afraid. You'll participate more equally. Then you won't have to resist. Do you understand?
I do.
All right. Does this help you?
Yeah, one more question.
You already said you had one more question. Do you want me to hold you to that?
Who am I getting assistance from?
Many different beings. Guides, extraterrestrials, at this moment, obviously us. You don't need to sort them out. You don't need to label them.
But
You're getting
I'm so
assistance.
curious about.
If you're really that curious, live your life to the fullest, and eventually you'll know. When it is time for you to know, you will know. Nothing will prevent that knowledge from being downloaded into you. But if you don't know now, you don't need to.
So you
Go
won't
with the
tell
flow.
me? You won't tell me?
I am telling you. Go with the flow, and you will find out. But you don't always need to know the way you think you do. Right now, it would only clutter your mind. Right now, the one that is clear is that we're assisting you right now. So at least you can identify one of us.
It's such a pleasure.
For us as well. Thank you very much.
One more question.
No.
Thank you.
Hello.
And a you good day.
First, I want to tell you a little story, and then I want to ask a question.
Oh, all right. Shall I get some milk and cookies?
Yes, please. You're going to need them. About 31 years ago, my mom brought me to see you.
Oh, all right.
And actually, I brought her out here from Florida to see you today.
All right. Good day,
But
good
at that
day.
opportunity, I actually got to ask you a question as well, and your answer stuck with me and actually saved my life a few times. So,
Oh, all right.
I asked a question about every once in a while I get this like beep in my ear, and
Yes,
you
it
told
is.
me that it was the universe trying to get me centered and focused on something.
Sometimes it is